Raid Run, a game mode with a total player count of 7 and notorious for the suffering it brings. The final phase isn't as hard as Stopper's final. Holy sh*, that's the whole screen. So you end up never playing Raid Run until you realize this mode gives you legendary magic candy ingredients every week, which are about as rare as a perfectly happy person in 2025, inconceivably rare. To ease the pain that you'll have to endure in this game mode, here's a guide to Raid Run. Just a quick note, this guide is meant more towards casual players. Watching this as an already good player would be like me telling you that the square does in fact go in the square hole. This stuff is obvious to you guys, but it may not be for everyone else. Anyway, let's move on. Raid Run. Fight bosses, work your way up to stronger bosses, and profit. But first, raid skills. The thing you actually need to deal damage and absolutely no one upgrades because who plays Raid Run? Here's a bit of a chart of what skills are good and bad. You can pause to read. Everything here are the viable skills you can use. The more to the left, the better they are. Everything else not here is other garbage. Make sure you upgrade some of these support skills too, because trust me, you will need them. These are the things you summon bosses from. The higher level the stone, the more HP the boss will have, the more damage you'll take from collisions, and the faster your energy drain will be. Every stone also has modifiers that change how things work a little. The higher the stone level, the more modifiers there will be. Most are self-explanatory, but one specific one I'll highlight, energy recovery debuffs. These make you recover less energy from energy potions and skills. They don't really matter at low levels, but once you're at any stone above level 300, literally no one will want to play with you if your stone has anything more than a minus 10% energy recovery debuff. These make the boss close to impossible due to how fast your energy drain is by this point, and without being able to heal fast enough, you're guaranteed to have a bad time. Sometimes they are possible, but good luck with that. Okay, now we can move on to the boss. You begin at the exploration phase where nothing really happens here, just score as quickly as possible to progress. Once done, you can actually begin fighting the boss. The boss has 3 phases, each being a third of its health. Phase 1 is actually the most annoying phase in my opinion, so lock in. The first phase consists of 2 parts. The first part, the snake will slither on the ground and you'll have to stay on the platforms provided to not collide. Stalactites will fall from the ceiling. Red ones destroy platforms and blue ones will stick to the platforms. Simply focus on the platforms that don't have stalactites over them and jump there. See those green buttons by the way? Jump on them to drop the drill into the snake. If you activate enough drills, you'll lower the boss's defense, letting you deal around 15% more damage for a short period of time. The second part has the snake use its tail to attack, summoning obstacles from the ground. This is the most annoying part of phase 1. Focus on the closest obstacle that's about to spawn, and once you're close, double jump. Platforms also spawn to help you jump over the obstacles, so make use of that. Be careful though, those stalactites can fall over these platforms and trip you up. Phase 1 switches between these 2 parts until you get to the next phase. Some people have said to me that phase 1 is impossible because sometimes the obstacles spawn in undodgeable places, which in that case, you probably shouldn't be playing Raid Run just yet. But there is a rare bug where if you enter phase 2 right as the boss uses its tail attack, the obstacles won't respawn and in some cases can be impossible to dodge, so Dev Sisters please fix. Phase 2 consists of 3 lanes of platforms that the snake will slither through and switch between elevations. Sometimes it will just appear from the left or right and slowly slither, or it may hiss then charge at you. To dodge this, simply just move to another layer of platforms. Ideally, you'll want to be in the middle so you have the option to fall and jump up, whichever is quicker. If the snake hisses with its tail still on another layer, do not go to that layer as the tail's hitbox is big enough to hit you. Geckos will also walk around being stupid little nuisances, but you can just single jump over them. Overall, this phase is super easy, just don't die of dehydration in the middle of the raid because you forgot to drink some water before the raid, and you're on your 78th attempt of trying to beat this boss. Phase 3 is also split into 2 parts, the first of which will have the snake shoot an orbital laser cannon at you while platforms fall, but don't panic, just focus on not falling and either make your way down or up depending on where the safe zone is. Funnily enough, the laser beam does just about the same amount of damage as all other of the boss's attacks, so you won't immediately die if you're hit. The second part of this is also extremely annoying. The snake will begin to follow where you are and lock to your position after about 2 seconds and then bite. To dodge this, double jump when the snake locks their position or fall down if you were on high ground. Try to be on high ground as much as possible because those are where the drill buttons are at, and the bottom has quicksand which will hinder you from jumping if you stay in them too long, as well as snake tail obstacles. These 2 parts will keep repeating until you vanquish the cringy snake. Anyway, one last time. Raid Run is meant to be played in teams. Eventually at higher level bosses, you won't be able to solo them anymore, and this is where friends come in. Oh, what's that? You've got no friends? Same, buddy, same. But you can try to find other raiders in places like my Discord server. Yeah, I gotta plug in my Discord server somehow. When playing in teams, you ideally want everyone using Alchemist's skill, as this gives a lot of healing for the team. Princess's skill is also a good choice as well, because if you paid attention to my gameplay before, I got hit. A lot. And chances are, you will too. It also gives an attack buff at max level, as well as Pomegranate's skill, which stacks with Princess's attack buff. This is useful for extremely high level bosses to deal more damage, as the map will actually stop giving you skill gems if you take too long to defeat the snake. No skill gems equals no skills equals very bad. That's about it for this guide. If you have any other questions about Raid Run, do not ask me because I have had enough suffering within this hellhole of a mode.